what we're going to do today is we're going to do an install with a major wheel kit. And what you're seeing right here is how you will receive it from off the truck, whether it's the dealer or the rancher. So we're calling this a major wheel kit, but this is the same wheel kit that works on an 8800 or a 1080. There's only one small difference, and you'll see two black profiles bolted onto this shipping bar. So what that is on a major, one of the profiles that holds on a linkage at the front has the winch hook bracket built right in place. This one on the 1080 or the 8800 needs to be removed and needs to be bolted on the chute, which we will show you in a minute. So when you get this, the first thing you need to do is you need to take off all your packaging materials. Then you need to take your jack and your hitch, put it to the front of the chute, as well as your jack adapter. Then you got to remove your winches, and then you remove your shipping bar. There's some bolts to remove. We'll go through this step by step. And then you got to install your winch brackets into your wheels. So we'll start dismantling now. We'll assemble everything. There's a few things to watch for, and one of them is you want to make sure your winches aren't put on backwards, or you'll probably crash with your squeeze control handle. So that's what we'll do right now. Okay, so now we're going to start assembling our wheel kit. I've already removed the hitch and the jack. It's put at the front of the chute. Now remember what I said about these black profiles, and this is an 8800. We've been using this chute since last fall, so that's why it looks a little bit dirty. So I'm going to remove these winch hook brackets, and I'm going to take them to the front of the 8800, and we're going to install them. Okay, I'm at the front of the 8800 right now at the scale brackets on the front. There's a bent flange on either side of the scale bracket with two holes, and that's where we take our winch hook bracket and we put it on like that. Now we'll go to the left side of the chute. Okay, we're on the other side of the chute here. Put the bolts. Okay, that's done. And like I say, if you got a major, these will not be used. So you can just do what you want with them. Okay, we'll continue disassembling this wheel kit. So the next step is you got your two winch brackets and you've got your jack adapter mount, and each one has a bolt through to hold them in place in this shipping bar. So we'll take out the bolts and just set them aside. This one here I'll take directly to the front of the chute because that's where it goes in. Okay, they're done. Now right here we have our locking bars, and that's when you jack the chute up like that, the wheels come down. When they line up with a tube in the side of the chute, you put them in and you pin them. So we'll remove them. They got a bolt right on the bottom here. We'll remove that bolt. Take out your locking bars, and then inside of them here, there's your pins. You need to remove them, and that's where you pin them locking bars when you put them in, and that prevents them from coming out in transport. So now the shipping bar fixture is free. We're just going to lift them off the wheels like that and set aside, and now this is you can use this for whatever you want. So now basically all we got left here is we got to take our winches. We're going to take this tire assembly off the pellet, and we got to bolt this winch in here, and I'll go over it a couple of times to make sure that there's no confusion, but this is a fairly critical step because these winches can be put in backwards, and then not only is the strap going to be at the wrong angle, you could crash through the squeeze handle on a manual squeeze. Now we'll look at this winch very closely. Okay, so you can see how this is biased to one side and the plate is angled like that. So we know that this must go on the right side of the chute because this is biased towards over the tire. So your handle's on the outside and it's also on a lean towards your front strap hook plate, which we've already got mounted on, and we pointed it up on the shipping bar. So you can see my winch is biased over the tire, and my plate is angled towards my black profile that I bolted on at the front, my winch hook profile. Now we'll get the tires situated so that they're on the proper side of the chute. I know that my winch plate, when the chute's on the ground, is going to be pointing this way, and this bar is going to go towards the front of the chute. So that means it's on the left-hand side. That, now we'll put the other side. Say it's a lot easier to move this when the winch is on. Okay, now we're going to assemble our winches. Okay, so now we're gonna, this solid shaft goes into this round tube, that's the sleeve for it. Then this half-moon profile lines up at that slot. So first of all, one of the biggest keys to this is how you lift and move this. If you lift it in the wrong place, it becomes very awkward to move. So when I move it around, I'm grabbing my hand on that front 2x2 and my back hand on the winch, and you can see I let the tire do the work. Okay, so I line it up there, and I'm using my knee as well. Pin it like that. And then I take and I lower my hand closer to the center of gravity, to the center of the assembly. And I have my knee right here. I lift and I push with my knee. Now I just lift and slide in like that. Now we loosen the winch up. Hook up to that black profile. On the 8800, the 1080. On the Major, that's part of the structure itself. So you don't have to mount anything on that one. You just have to hook up your strap. Okay, I'm not going to apply any pressure yet. I've just snugged up my winch. I'm going to install the wheel on the other side, and I'll explain why in a minute. Okay, I'm on the other side. My winch is installed. I'm biased over the tire. My plate is angled towards the front of that chute to help keep my strap in line. Same thing, I'm going to put my hand on top of this tube cross member, grab the winch, and I'm going to let the tire do the work for me. Line it up here. Now I put my hand closer to center of gravity, put the winch out of the road, and use your knee. Tip it and use your knee, and then just slide right in, okay? Now, this is another important part to note. After I hook the strap up, so now this is I've got the wheel assembly in the receiver. I've got my winch hooked up on that black profile at the front. Now, and it's absolutely important, there's kind of like a half-moon profile here. It needs to be lined up at that slot that's welded to the chute. So what I do is I got it lined up, and I lift it up a bit till it's engaged a little bit. And now what I do next is I actually go to the other side, and I do the same, because if you winch this one up all the way, you've done your step right and got the wheel, and that's all good, but that wheel could shift a little bit, and if you come a little bit out of alignment with it, you won't have the power to line it up. So that's why I make sure both of them are engaged just a little bit before I do my full lift. Okay, so I'm on an 8800, and on this side I got a squeeze handle, and I got margin between this shaft and that yellow handle. If you don't, probably something is wrong. So I'm going to start winching, but before I do that, I just want to make sure you know that this handle is removable, and it can actually be put on either side. Okay, so we're going to start winching up. Now I've got my locking bar. Put it in like that. You got your pin and your Arrowquip to keep it from coming out. Put it in like that, and release the pressure from the strap. You don't want that strap taking the weight of that chute going down the road. So I'm going to start winching up this wheel. I'm going to double check that my profile is engaged in that slot properly, and I'm going to winch. Locking bar in. Pin and Arrowquip. and release the tension. Okay, so if you come back here, we'll take another look at this winch and I'll show you something else. Okay, so just review this once more. So you can see that that winch hook plate is not in line with this winch. Hence, this is why this plate is welded on a bit of an angle. So if this is way out of whack and the strap is climbing too bad, you have some adjustment here to tweak it should you need to, but it's riding on one side a little bit right now, but it's not hurting nothing. So I've released the tension. The back is done. Now I just got to go to the front and jack it up, and then we can put our hitch in and mount it up and you're ready for transport. So I'm all ready to winch up the chute. Now, before you winch the chute up on an angle like that, your jack adapter, which we'll put in, this is where your jack mounts to. Put your Arrowquip on. What I'm going to do in this one is, because I got a good batcher drill, I'm just going to remove this handle, and when I jack it up, I'll use my batcher drill. Saves me a little bit of work. So now we can, we'll mount this jack. Okay, so we've winched the wheels up. The wheels are already locked in place. Our front's still on the ground, so it was nice and stable when it's stable now. So now we're just going to lift it up with the jack. Okay, we can stop and we can put our hitch in now. Okay, so we've unhooked the truck now, and we're going to go in the reverse steps. We're going to lower it to the ground and put it in setup as though we're working cattle. So the first thing you want to do is you've unhooked your ball, you've unhooked your safety chains. You need to remove the hitch and then lower the front of the chute to the ground. Then remove your jack and your jack adapter. There, now we lower our wheels next. Okay, so the hitch is removed, the jack is removed, the front is stable on the ground. So we're going to remove the wheels now. So we just got to take the pressure off that locking bar. Remove, and then okay, now we'll go do the other side. So we'll release pressure from the locking bar, remove it, and lower it down. Just unhook it now here. What I usually do is I bring my strap around that bar, hook it to the back of the... Now I'm going to remove it. Just remember, it takes a little bit of practice because this unit is heavy, but you grab it by the center of gravity, like this. My hand's down close to that main beam, and lift and pull out. Put your one hand on the winch, other hand on this bar, and then let your tire do the work. Well, thank you for watching the install of our wheel kit for our Major, our 1080 and our 8800. We hope that was helpful. And if you have any further questions, you can call up Client Care, and we're all here and willing to help our customers out. Thank you very much.